1858, William Wells Brown wrote, forget the Democrats.
Okay.
Forget the Republicans. We
Okay.
got to do it ourselves. I said, wait a minute. No, he couldn't have said this. He could. I mean, it was just because this is 1858 that this once enslaved brother, and Lord have mercy, he was a child. The master sold his mother. The master sold his sister. The master sold his brother. But wait, the master was his uncle.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson. And yes, we are about to speak with the legend. I'm telling you, there's so many things that we can call this woman, but one thing you're not going to call her is scared, because this is a bold woman. And I am so honored to call her my friend, to call her my mentor. I'm looking forward to sitting at her feet once again and listening to what she has to say. So without any further ado, first of all, welcome to the Horizons Author Lounge. But without any further ado, we are about to bring on Dr. Regina Jennings. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hello. It's so wonderful to see you. It's always great to see you, Dr. Rhonda.
Yes, it is great seeing you as well. And you think I'm playing. I told you before, you tore it down at the Black History Month Literary Weekend. You were our special guest. And so that intro that we showed at the beginning of the show was the intro that we played during the brunch. But there was a young man who I went to college with, who flew all the way here after seeing you on the show the last time you were here. And the first thing he said is, "Where is my sister? I need to go meet Dr. Jennings." And he made a beeline to go talk with you. And I think he stayed by your side the entire time we were at the winery.
Yes. And it was so good to talk with him. And, one of the things that I want to do with the remainder of my life is to make sure that our people know everything that I want you to know, everything that I know about our history. Why is that important? It's important because it's no way in the world that mainstream schools and even colleges and universities will actually give you the 411, the spotlight on the African in the Americas. Because you see, we came from Africa. Everybody understands that. But we were transformed here. We were transformed into an enslaved people. What does that mean? That means a lot, Dr. Rhonda. It means that our ancestors went through a kind of hell that we can't even imagine. And one of the things that I'm doing today, well, not really today, but like every Tuesday and Thursday on Readings with Regina, you see the banner. I created a YouTube channel where, guess what? I am giving our people a university or college education for free. Because everything that I am reading, because I'm actually reading from books that I taught in universities, where young people, and not so young people, elders, young people, the in-between people, paid thousands of dollars to come to a college or university to study with me. Well, I'm giving that same kind of information online every Tuesday, every Thursday, Readings with Regina on YouTube, because I'm taking my life, maybe it's because of my age, but I'm taking my life every day, Rhonda, exceedingly seriously.
Yes.
Because it is so much that we do not know about our history. Like, I did a show where I talked about Haiti in 1804, when they literally kicked out the French that had been oppressing them, working them to death. Every 7 years, the French that controlled Haiti would bring in a new boatload of Black people because they worked Black people so hard that every 7 years they were just dying. They were just dying. And I'm going to stop in a minute to let you ask me a question. But
No, you keep going. This is what this is all about.
Okay, cool. Check it. This is Malcolm X's birthday.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Look, people, if you haven't already, light a candle for your ancestor. Light a candle for your ancestor that loved you so much, he put his life on the line for us. Okay? And understand this too. Let me show you this book. I'm one of the first sister writers to write a book on Malcolm X. This is called Malcolm X and the Poetics of Haki Madhubuti. You come to my website or go on Amazon, you'll see this wonderful book that won an international book award. This is a monster. I mean, let me see. I think it took me 10 to 14 years to do the research and write this book. And what I did in that book is to show that during the 1960s and 1970s, right? Malcolm X inspired the poets of that time period. Okay, they were Black power poets. So Malcolm X became their muse. In fact, one of the reasons that I even joined the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense is when I heard Bobby Seale do a poem, I was like, oh, I mean, those poets treated words like they were weapons, and they were an inspiration to a whole generation of 1960s people. And Dr. Rhonda's going to appreciate this because I always do this. Dr. Rhonda's hair. See, in the 60s, we didn't know nothing about Dr. Rhonda's hair. Of course, Dr. Rhonda wasn't around then either, but that's not the point. What my point is this. The 60s was so powerful that sisters just said, you know what, we are not going straight. We ain't straightening our hair no more. And understand, now, Dr. Rhonda more than likely went to a beautician who braided her hair. We didn't have, all we did, we just said, no more straightening. Our hair was everywhere. Okay? I mean, it was, but we were trying to make a point, and it was a point that literally came from Malcolm X. Other people too, but Malcolm, his oratory was so strong, so powerful. It would just shock you. And the way that he straight up talked to white folk, oh my Lord, he didn't mince his words, and he was brilliant. And one of the things that I want everybody to hear my voice right now, if you haven't read, not listened to, but read the speeches of Malcolm X, I really want you to get a Malcolm X book. They're around. They're pretty cheap. Listen or read his actual words. You will learn so very much, and you will absolutely bring his spirit into your consciousness, which is something that we have to do. This is why I even wrote this book. Now, this is another book. I'm just in this book. It's called By Any Means Necessary. One of my essays on Malcolm is in this book, and a whole bunch of other people have written their take on Malcolm as well. And my book on Malcolm, I literally trace the Black historical poetic tradition in this country. First I give you Malcolm and his effect on Sonia Sanchez, Haki Madhubuti, Larry Neal, Amiri Baraka, and on and on and on. Then I take you back to a journey in time. I take you back to the first enslaved poet in this country, Phyllis Wheatley. And she was enslaved, but she had half decent a master and mistress. They taught her how to read. This is like in the 1790s. They taught her how to read, and she was so brilliant, she just started writing poetry, and the poetry was good. Okay.
I don't know if I ever told you that the name of my elementary school in New Orleans was Phyllis Wheatley.
Wonderful. I don't think you did. That is good to know. And I hope them students know who she was and what she went through. And the racism in this country, Dr. Rhonda, was so thick that
Yes.
her owner parents couldn't even get her book of poetry published here. They had to go to England and visit a duchess who said, okay, we will publish her work. Because Thomas Jefferson, who was president then, he said, look, this N-word didn't write this good poetry. That's
Of
impossible.
course not. That would be crazy.
Exactly. So it's imperative, especially on a day like this, where it's Malcolm X's birthday, that we really look at our own history. Okay. And I last week I read a book. I'm reading The Narrative of Frederick Douglass, and I'm also reading 1845, and I'm also reading The Narrative of William Wells Brown, 1858. Both of these brothers were enslaved since children, and then they take you on their journey into adulthood as they were slaves. And you know, one of the things, and this going to just blow your mind, Dr. Rhonda. You ready for your mind to be blown?
I'm ready.
You ready for your mind? But okay, here we go. Look, 1858. William Wells Brown wrote, forget the Democrats.
Okay.
Forget the Republicans.
Okay.
We got to self. I said, wait a minute. No, he couldn't have said this. He could. I mean, it was just because this is 1858 that this once enslaved brother, and what he, Lord have mercy, he was a child. The master sold his mother. The master sold his sister. The master sold his brother. But wait, the master was his uncle.
Wow.
The master was his uncle. Enslavers sold their own family members because slavery was legal and it was encouraged.
And it was big money.
It was big money. You could be a poor white man, you get a couple of slaves. Oh, I'm just reminded of something. A poor white dude, this is a true story in Fred Douglass. He bought a enslaved woman, and then he called his friend from down the road, and he said, I want you to impregnate her so I can have more slaves. And you know that poor sister had twins, then had another one that, and worse, if there could be a worse, these enslavers were Christian.
Of course they were Christian. Yeah, they thought that they were doing the right thing.
Yes,
that's the craziness.
They did. They did, and the law backed them up. So it's these kind of stories that I actually literally read and then discuss with my audience. And I also tell everybody who listens to me, share my videos with your children.